So today I'm going to take you through a tour of the top 5 iconic fountain pens. So what do I mean by an iconic fountain pen? Well, these are fountain pens with unique designs and characteristics that have stood the test of time and allowed them to rise above their peers. And it is no surprise that many of these are Grail pens. So join me, won't you, as I take you through the top 5 iconic fountain pens. Our first choice is from the legendary house of Pelican. Pelican makes absolutely brilliant fountain pens. They have for generations. Now, it's tough to pick which one is the true icon. Even the M200 is absolutely brilliant. Everyone recognizes it by sight. I would think that the iteration that is probably the most representative of Pelican is the green and black stripes. But nevertheless, I think if we're going to name one that is truly iconic and that rises above all the others, it must be the Pelican M1000. So this rather large pen with a beautiful diameter that's so comfortable in your hand, that balances perfectly and is such a great length that it doesn't need to be posted. This beautiful pen has a really interesting nib. Now, Pelican nibs are known for being quite wet, and this one is. And because of the size and the shape of this nib, it has a bit more bounce than the other Pelican nibs, which makes it very, very interesting. However, that is a little bit overplayed in the fountain pen world. If you've used a lot of pens, it's got a bit of bounce, but it's not in league with something like the Magna Carta M600. So don't confuse bounce for flex. For one thing, you should be a little careful about how much pressure you're putting on your nibs anyway. I'm a very light writer, but this pen is absolutely beautiful, well balanced, well appointed. It is certainly a Grail pen. It's at the top level. It's an absolutely brilliant writer, and it certainly rests comfortably among the choices of truly iconic fountain pens. Our next choice of true fountain pen icons may very well be the fountain pen icon. This is from Montblanc, another German company, and of course, it is the mighty Montblanc 149, the incredible Meisterstück, who is celebrating its 100th year anniversary. Now, this iteration, the 149, has been around since the early 1950s. It's had the same general shape since then. It really hasn't changed. Some of the materials have, but it's recognizable in that form for the past 75 years. That's pretty brilliant. Now, this pen is also a bit on the girthy side, but that makes it an incredibly comfortable writer that just feels so perfect in your hand, makes it so easy to guide it across the page as you form your letters and make these fantastic lines with that absolutely stunning 18-karat gold nib. It's just absolutely brilliant. It has one of the most beautiful gold nibs out there, and it is an incredible writer. So I enjoy using this pen. It was my only pen that I was using for about 3 years, about a decade ago. So an absolutely inspiring, beautiful pen with a beautiful tapering shape that is just the icon of form and function. I think for many, if you think fountain pen, this is the image that is conjured. It's that iconic, and it's been used in the media that way. If you watched the recent Ripley series on Netflix, the Montblanc 149 is representative of a certain social standing, good taste, and refinement that Ripley is aspiring to. in the worst way. So this pen is one of my personal favorites. Absolutely gorgeous, very reliable, and a fantastic writer. Very much deserving of its place on the Mount Rushmore of iconic fountain pens. I can't get out of Germany here. I don't know what it is. What is it about Germany producing all these incredible iconic fountain pens? Well, our next choice, a true icon, one of my favorite fountain pens, and it's just such a democratic pen because anyone can afford this one. This is the Lami Safari, that absolutely beautiful straight-sided mid-century fountain pen with its beautiful brutalist lines and that paperclip shaped clip and the incredible nib that writes brilliantly, although it's made out of some bent steel wrapped around a feed that slides off so easily serviceable, but is absolutely brilliant. And if you haven't tried their calligraphy nib, I urge you to try that one. It's one of my favorite stubs. So one of the beautiful things about this pen is that it's so easy to strip, to clean, to fix, to swap out nibs on the go. Absolutely brilliant design, lovely balance, lovely shape. This is another pen that you see in media quite often. It's a pen that is just featured in good design. It just fits in with a certain mid-century aspirational idea of a better future. And boy, what a better pen this is. It is truly iconic. I think everyone knows this pen. It's also one of the best-selling fountain pens. It comes out in different colors each year, so there's always something out there to inspire you. It's a fantastic pen. It has beautiful design, and it is truly one of the most iconic fountain pens I can think of. So we're finally leaving Germany to Japan, and one of my absolute favorite fountain pen brands, the mighty Pilot 823. This fountain pen wasn't that popular a few years back, but it has truly risen to iconic, aspirational status. It is such a brilliant writer and such a great value at $335. It competes with pens much more expensive. It has an absolutely gorgeous, interesting gold nib that gives you a bit of feedback without sacrificing smoothness. It is an absolute joy to write with this fountain pen, getting a little bit of hints of the texture of the paper that you're writing on, but just zipping along and sliding on a cushion of ink in a glorious expression of color and form. Absolutely amazing. The vacuum filling system on this pen also makes it rise above many of its peers and makes it that much more interesting because it's not that common of a filling system. Although we are going to see another one with that in a few moments. So this pen is also very beautiful. It's made out of resin. It's a demonstrator in all of its forms. It recently made its transparent model available in North America, which is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on that one. So this pen is truly one of the great fountain pen icons, and it got that way by being brilliant. It worked its way into this list, and it is fully deserving of its place on it. Now we are going to consider one of the most unique and interesting fountain pens on the market today. One that is truly iconic and very aspirational for all of us. And that is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age. This is an absolutely brilliant pen made out of one of the most interesting resins on the market today. This resin is a mix of resin with some igneous rock from Mount Etna in Sicily. So you are literally getting a piece of Italy with this pen. That is so inspirational. And this material is said to be hygroscopic, so it helps to reduce some of the wetness in your hand as you write with it. This pen has an incredible power filling system that just fills it quickly in a vac style. Absolutely brilliant. Holds quite a bit of ink and is a joy to write with in balance and form. Now, this fountain pen has some very unique Visconti styling cues on it, including the hook-safe locking mechanism, which makes the threads a bit on the large side, certainly, probably the biggest threads out there. However, they also provide a really nice place for resting your fingers, and they have the look of almost a Greek key design, which is really beautiful and very, very functional. It is a perfect compromise between a really tight closing cap and a quick release cap so that you can get to writing quickly. Also, the clip of this fountain pen mirrors the gentle arch that supports Ponte Vecchio over the Arno River in Florence. That is such a beautiful nod to its home base of Florence, but it's also a nod to the concept that writing in pens are a bridge that links people together through our words, through our ideas. So this pen is just absolutely glorious, a beautiful pen. You do have to be careful with quality control on the nib, so I would urge you to reach out to your pen seller and make sure they check it before they ship it. But beside that, which is a big deal, but beside that, this fountain pen is absolutely amazing, and it deserves its place as a true fountain pen icon. I could not craft a list of truly iconic fountain pens without including the Parker 51. Now, I do need to make a caveat here. I'm speaking about the vintage iteration. The modern Parker 51s are sort of a pale shadow, an imitator of that original glorious fountain pen that is truly iconic. For me, I think of that sort of Madman era, and these fountain pens just fit perfectly into it. It has a hooded nib that is perfectly integrated into the design of the pen. You do need to be a little careful. Sometimes you find yourself sort of rolling the pen looking for the right edge, but once you find it, it's one of the smoothest writers out there. This pen has a beautiful elegance to it. It's slim, it's light, it looks very professional, and it's just sort of this icon of mid-century design. I'm passionate about this pen. I have one in stunning gray that each time I reach for it just reminds me of that mid-century ideal, that beautiful design language that we were striving for, something more, something better through great design, beautiful reliability, and here I am using a pen that's 75 years old. The Parker 51 is a true fountain pen icon, but I would urge you, find it on the vintage market. You know, I was almost ready to end, but there's one fountain pen that very much deserves its place on this list. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Lami 2000. The Lami 2000 once again goes back to that mid-century design vocabulary. This Macrolon pen, incredible material on this pen. The way that the steel is matched up to the Macrolon is just amazing. Or even the way the piston fill mechanism seems to disappear when it's closed. The use of materials here is absolutely brilliant. It sort of reminds me of Apple level tolerances. It's that good. Now, I have certain problems with it myself. I find the two cap latches to be a bit inelegant. I feel like it somewhat spoils the tapered bonito-like design of this beautiful pen. Nevertheless, I would be wrong if I didn't include it among true icons. This fountain pen is loved by so many. Gerd Müller designed this pen and just did a brilliant job of making a functional, beautiful, well-balanced writing instrument with a fantastic 14-karat nib that's also, let's call it semi-hooded, but certainly not hard to find your edge in the same manner as the Parker 51. This pen is perfect and seamless in any situation. It's fantastic for journaling. It's brilliant for the office. It doesn't call a lot of attention to itself. And for the level of quality and fit and finish that you get on this, it's not that expensive. So all around, a true icon, a fantastic writer, a beautiful pen. Sure, I think the ink level windows are superfluous and kind of useless. The cap latches are not my favorite, as I've stated before. It's hard not to include this as a true fountain pen icon. So what do you think of fountain pen icons? Did I miss one that you think should have been on this list? Please let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. I'd also appreciate it if you'd share this video with someone else who you think might enjoy it. I'd love to meet some new people. And along those lines, please subscribe. If you've made it to this far in the video, just reach over to that button and hit subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to support the channel even more, membership is available. We have a pen pal group for Cognoscenti and Illuminati members. And there's a bunch of other stuff going on too, so join the channel. I'd love to have you. I make new videos all the time, and I have a live show just about every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. So I can promise you we will see each other again very, very soon. So take care of yourself, and I'll see you further up the road.